So how many of you are, by show of hand, how many of you are teaching full blast grammar? Okay, thank you. Hunter, Tatiana, Zest, are you guys all teaching full blast grammar? I mean, I'm assuming that's why you're here. Okay.
No,
full blast grammar.
Not.
Perfect. Okay. Tatiana, if you could let me know which academy you're from by changing your name, I'll appreciate that very much. Okay, so the full blast grammar, it goes with our secondary course book called Full Blast. So it is to support, reinforce, and consolidate again from the things that they're learning in the course book. This also applies for the secondary AI online-based learning platform. And so I want to talk about first why we have these things on top of doing the course book, because you teach the grammar in the course book as well. So what is the difference? So the purpose of Full Blast Grammar, it is to expand further from the course book. So if you look at the course book, the course book, we teach a very specific, there's a 2 to 4 lines or target grammar that shows up in student's book, right? At most, maybe 6 to 8 sentences in the grammar section. So it gives a general, perhaps, overview of what they're learning, a summary of what they're going to learn in the course book. But when you come to the grammar book, we have additional explanation. We expand that grammar by giving first person, third person, or every pronoun, every person in that grammar usage, right? And so we expand in detail what is the rules of grammar. And then we give them a meaningful writing practice. So instead of giving out worksheet, they're doing those worksheet type of grammar drilling, writing drill in the grammar book or with the grammar book, right? And then the third purpose of having this Full Blast Grammar on top of the course book is to do meaningful speaking drill, meaning not memorize these grammar rules or all these sentences that uses this correct grammar. We don't want them to memorize. We want them to be able to apply it in a meaningful way, meaning we want them to be, you want to give them a situation and see if they can use it in a correct grammar sentence form. And in order for them to say that correctly, that requires them to keep practicing it in speaking it, right? And so this is how the Full Blast Grammar and online, it supports, reinforces, and consolidates the target language or grammar. Now, so then we are already doing expansion and grammar writing drills in the grammar books. Why do we need the online learning platform? Well, online learning platform, this specific artificial intelligence base, there's a much advantage to it. Again, it expands once more of the grammar rules with different examples, and we have them apply it in a meaningful drill. And so I don't know how many of you have seen the secondary AI base. It's a one-to-one personalized lesson. A student may receive the same sentence at the beginning, or there's chances of them or not, but about 5 minutes later into this AI learning, student A will be seeing a different sentence from student B. It all depends on what are the areas that each students are struggling with. AI will personalize that lesson. And so instead of meaningful writing drill with grammar where you're given specific questions and you're going to practice together, when you get to secondary AI, it's really real personal writing. And so that's why, oh, I just realized that's number 3 is there. That's why it's a personalized learning, and that will help our student improve their school exams. Okay, so this is why we have the package as well, the course book, the grammar book, and AI. Now, so let me quickly show you the Full Blast grammar only comes up to B1 level. And after B1 level, we're going to switch up to another grammar book called Grammar and Vocabulary B1, Grammar, Vocabulary, and B2. As for the secondary AI, we have up to B1 level available, and B1 plus and B2, we are in development. And so far, our main demands in the first 3 levels. And so when we have the B1 plus and B2 ready, we'll be announcing it in our band and Neighbor Cafe and through email. Okay, so today I'll be focusing on level 1.2 and doing an example with level 1.2. And if I have time, I'll do 1.82 as well. Okay. Oops. So let's see here. Oh, no, you can't see that. Let me do a screen share. I've scanned a page from Full Blast Grammar A1.2. Every lesson in the Full Blast Grammar, there will always be a specific reading with a brand new situation. And with this reading, you're having students identify the target language for that day. What is it that we want them to learn? So here, we're going to have our student read this. That's what I'll do. You don't have this material, so you can have each student read a sentence and whatnot. And so let's read it together. Well, you don't have to read it aloud. I will read it aloud. So it's read Leo's email to his friend Alice. So, dear Alice, happy birthday. I'm sorry I didn't come to your party, but I had an accident. Here's what happened. It was 8 a.m. I was going to school when suddenly I saw the bus and started running to the bus stop. While I was running, something hit me very hard and I fell down. It was my friend Rob on his bike. Rob's all right, but I'm writing this email from the hospital. I hurt my head and broke my leg. Ouch. Take care, Leo. And so this is the reading text. You can have them read, or you can also draw your students' attention to this picture, because there will always be some kind of image, and have students think about the story. Hey friends, before you read, look at this picture. What do you think? What happened to him? Okay, what is this going to be about? So kind of elicit from student first and then read. And after you read, you want to ask them comprehension questions to check if they understand the situation. Okay, so friends, first an overall question. So friends, who is this boy? And your student will say his name is Leo, or it's Leo. Okay. Oh, so where is he? These are just basic, right? Basic information, simple ones. Start with the easy and go harder. Oh, he's in the hospital. Okay, good job. Why is he in the hospital? Why is Leo in the hospital? Leo had an accident. Oh, what kind of accident? He ran into a bike. No, he didn't. Someone, his friend Rob, who was on a bike, hit Leo. Okay, so then, good. What happened? Why is in the hospital then? He hurt his head and broke his leg. That's why he's hospitalized. Good, good. Okay, so why is then, friends, now, so why is Leo writing an email to Alice? Oh, because it was Alice's birthday and Leo, couldn't go to Alice's birthday party. So he's apologizing. So you want to ask these questions to have them understand the situation. And then you go to, solving these questions. going and answer these questions with the students by having them read and answer. And so in your teacher's book, you have the answer. I mean, I think we can all figure out. Did Leo go to Alice's birthday party? No, he didn't. Okay. And where was Leo at 8 a.m.? Teachers, where was Leo at 8 a.m.? Question number 2.
Leo was going
to
send
me a text. Ah, right. He was going to school, right? What was Leo doing before he fell down?
He was riding the bike.
Thank you. Is that Tatiana?
Yeah. That's
okay. And what? Thank you. And number 4, what happened to Leo? He hurt his hand. Or no, he hurt his head, right? Okay. So I think now you have student read and answer. You don't even have to read. You have student read and answer, right? Save your voice. But I think, I don't know if you noticed through these questions, with these questions, you're able to, we want our student to understand the difference between past progressive and past simple. Fell down, the past simple, versus was running, right? These questions are there to lead to that. By the way, you are seeing these images, right? Okay, all right, the screen capture. And then after doing this, we go into the grammar. And in the grammar books, you will always see the grammar rules expanded out like this. Whereas in the course book, you'll probably see a shortened form like I, you, I, it. Oh, so I was, he was, she was, it was playing, and you, we, they were playing. So you see a shortened summary of the grammar rules instead of an expansion one. So when you're at this grammar page, you can simply read it through with your students. Or you can, if you have students who are a little smarter, have them notice, okay, friends, what do you notice? And I will underline I, he, she, it. What do you notice about these 4? And hopefully, student, we have to figure out it uses the past tense of be past and it's was, right? And then I'll draw their attention to the you, we, they, and have them notice. You can point it out for the students, but we want them to catch it and identify it. Then you go to the next part. Next page. Oops. Whoa. Then you go to next page, which I'm having a hard time finding. Anything but. There we go. Then it's the question form so you continue on and then you explain the rules of today's target language, which is the past progressive. So friends, we use past progressive for things, action that was happening at the specific time. So you read the sentence, I was watching TV at 7 o'clock yesterday evening. Okay, remember the one that we just read here, the email about Leo? What was he doing at 8 o'clock? He was going to school. Okay, so what happened? What was he doing when he fell down? He was running when he fell down. So it's that specific time. and you want students to understand that. So after explaining this first part, or these right here, first 2 bullet points, right? I would then have students go back to this page where, friends, I want you to underline or circle when of the past progressive that you see, and then have student identify, underline those areas. It's already bolded for hint. But we want them to find the other, was running. Okay, and you can have them, all right, when you see the past simple, because past simple is something that they learned in previous module, I want you to put it in a triangle, or I want you to put it in a square box or rectangle box. I want you to draw a box to it, like when I fell down, when you see past simple. And so like this, you have student identify the target language. This way. And then you go to this part. All right, friends, here's an activity we'll do together. Okay, so we're going to look at this picture, right? Let's see what's happening in the picture. And I will have students just describe each person and what they're doing. And so I'll do so by calling out the characters in the book right here. Okay, friend. So who is Gemma? Right here. What does she look like? Okay, girl, she has blonde hair. She's wearing a green t-shirt. Okay, this to make sure student knows. By the way, I will ask this question because we're in A1.2. If we're at A2 level, I wouldn't be asking who is Gemma and what does she look like. So unless I know. Okay, Gemma, she has blonde hair. She's wearing a green shirt and an orange skirt. She's in the kitchen. So what is she doing? She's cooking. Okay, what about John? Where is he? He's between kitchen and the living room. He's and he's listening to music. Okay, have them do those things. So you're having students say these things and using preposition and present continuous because they're in the picture, you're describing picture. And then you come to the activity part, have them switch to past progressive. Yeah, so you can follow Mike, John, Lucy, and Marla in this order, or describe this picture in present progressive, then come to the activity part and do it in a past progressive. Right. Now, one thing I wouldn't suggest you do, one thing I really hope you will never do is to get to this page, okay, friends, go do it. And have them solve all this and then talk about it. I want you to switch. I want you to do the speaking, eliciting, and speaking part before you have them do the writing. In fact, you don't have to have them do all the writing in class. Just focus on 1 or 2 of them and have them do the rest as homework. Yeah, does this make sense, teachers? Give me a thumbs up, please. Right, those who do not have the cameras, you can just give me a thumbs up by emoticons. Okay, this is because if you have them answer all of this, you're going to have to wait anywhere from 5 minutes to 7 minutes, depending on the level. And some students won't finish in those time. And when you go over these things without really understanding it, they're just going to fill in the blank because you're telling them the answer. Right? We don't want you to do that. And so describe, elicit, have them use the tenses, present tense, present progressive, and then have them switch to past progressive and just do a couple of them. And then you go to next activity, and continue on. Now here, we want them to use the past simple and past progressive at the same time. And so it's the question form. Your bike, when the accident, do we use the progressive or simple? Happened. What were you riding your bike when the accident happened? So to do this activity, you may want to explain the past simple a little bit or do the first one and then have student pick or nominate each student to do 2, 3, 4 each activity, each question. Yeah? Kind of self-explanatory from here, right? We want them to understand what? If your student don't understand when to use past simple and past progressive, how would you describe this to your student? Or how would you hint your student before telling them the answer? I need your help here, teacher, or your participation. Let's do this with question 7. My father blank his newspaper when the ball blank him. So your students aren't confident. They're saying my father reading his newspaper when the ball hitting him, for example. How would you correct your student? Instead of giving them the correct answer, how would you clue your student in or hint your student into finding the correct answer? Past progressive or present progressive, well, past progressive, there's always be a specific time period mentioned. So, okay, what happened? What happened to the father? What was the father doing when that happened to him? The father was hit by some ball. Okay, oh, right, he got hurt. Good. So when he got hurt with this ball, what was the father doing? He was reading his newspaper. Right? The grammar rule that we explained earlier, actions happening at that specific time in the past. And so you want them to identify the time and what was happening at that time. And so those are the verbs that turns into ing. Right? So teachers, I guess my point here is that instead of correcting students, oh, that's wrong, here's the correct answer, I want you to hint them in and have them find the answer and then give them the correct answer instead of giving it right away. Instead of having them do the work, go through it verbally with them like this. Just 1 or 2 or 3 of them and have them do the rest at home by themselves. This way you can check once more how much of what you're explaining really internalized, became theirs. Then let's go to activity C, where your students are there to look at the picture and describe it. And so we have in this activity these word clues, right? Brian, drive, hospital, see, old friend, while. And here's an example. While Brian was driving to the hospital, he saw an old friend. So, okay, what happened? What did he see? He saw an old friend. Okay, so when he saw an old friend at that specific time, 봤다. What was Brian doing? He was driving to where? To the hospital. Okay, and so let's try 2. Let's try 3, just verbally. Again, just verbally. Or you can do it like the first activity. What's happening? It's raining. The boys are in the rain getting wet. Or the boys are walking in the forest as a current present progressive, or and then turn into past progressive here. It all depends on your students, which will work better in helping them to understand this. So as you can see, our grammar, there's a lot of tweaking involved, and we want them to be able to say these things verbally, correct sentence in the correct sentence. in the correct grammar form, right? Are you seeing this? Okay, you are seeing this. Okay, so then you come to the third page, activity goes on. So each of these exercises or activities you see, we give the same target grammar, specific target grammar, but we give them in a various situations, so to speak, or type. Right here, this one, it's in a conversation form when you use the past simple and past progressive. The other in an activity, a specific describing an image, saying a sentence. So these activities are scaffolded. We call it scaffolding. We slowly build them in. Here's a situation for general overview. Explain the grammar rule. Describe a picture. Then just by text, filling the blank, creating the sentence, taking an image with few word clues, and then build a sentence. Then here's a situation where they fill in the blank. So where others, up to this part, each student just needed to understand this one specific simple situation. But when you get to, we build them into, now for this activity, they must understand the story as a whole and fill in the blank, right? So we're giving them more information. Now here in this situation, what is the correct response? And then we give them image clue. They have to put it in correct order, sequence of event, right? So this requires students to really understand the situation and in chronological order in order to describe it. So you're going to do this speaking activity and you're going to explain the rules. Friends, so we're going to look at these pictures and describe here. Oh, what's happening here? There's two ladies are at the park and it's raining. So with some vocabulary words they see, they can infer that these two ladies are trying to walk home, but it's raining. They're getting soaking wet. And with current present tenses, describe each picture. Okay, so friends, good job describing each picture. Now, imagine this is yesterday evening. And so yesterday evening, this lady, right, she went to the cinema with her sister Mary. And then the story happens. What will be the correct form? What will be the correct order? And have student identify the correct order. And you have all that answer. So this is one, and then they're trying to catch the bus, but it rained and they came home like this. All right. But I think some student may do here. Oh no. I think I can see, no. I guess that's not, because they're talking about drying their hair and decide to buy a car because of the rain. Well, that's the clue, I think. I decide to buy a car because they don't want to get stuck in the rain again like that. Okay, so they really have to understand the situation and put this in order. And then we finalize this grammar with the writing activity, the speaking activity of describing the situation, putting in sequence order. Now we want them to write. And as you know, you don't have much space here in the grammar book, so your student will need a notebook, writing notebook on the side for them to write this out. Okay, so this is how we take our student, the grammar process. The course book, once again, it takes our student with the grammar, but we already give them the reading, text, and situation, and we focus on understanding this with so with this course book material, we want our student, we give them this situation, and we want them to understand this situation or content with listening, reading, and then speaking it out in a correct, complete sentences, right? And then we tell them, here's the grammar rules that we need to learn. And you again go further on doing listening comprehension, reading comprehension, and speaking. Then when you come to the grammar, we again identify, give them a situation where they need to understand the target language. Then we expand in detail of each grammar rule, then do a specific grammar activity that will lead them ultimately to the writing activity, to the writing output, right? And that writing output is quite controlled. We give them a situation, like the 4 picture we have seen. Okay, write about this. Then when you get to the ELT skills online, now, secondary AI online, it's same, but each student will receive different material based on the areas that they're struggling with. So let me now move to the secondary AI and show you the platform.